So honestly, what an amazing start to AEW Dynamite. You can say you don't like this style of wrestling, which is totally fine, but I tell you, it lit up my life. I had the best time. Also, hello my friends, and welcome to Ups and Downs, the only wrestling review show we do know, where somewhat ironically, that's not the right word, we give the good bits an up and the bad bits a down. And on this episode of AEW Dynamite, during the MJF Hurt Syndicate segment, everybody was chanting up because they wanted Bobby Lashley to put his thumb in this position. So I had like illusions of grandeur here, but do not forget, within the next 12 months, we are going to appear on a major US promotion somehow. Maybe it's on the pre-show, maybe it's in a match, maybe it's somebody throwing me in the bin. You just don't know. But for now, let's take this, the fop, and we give the good bits an up, the bad bits are down. But yes, we did kick off AEW Dynamite with this all-star 8-man tag, which meant it was Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, Kenny Omega, and Mark Briscoe taking on the Elite and Ricochet. I just thought it's one of the best things I've seen in a long ass time. The commentators also told us how important it was because we're going to have Kenny Omega and Okada looking at each other for the first time since 2018. And please do forgive me, I'm just going to get on my high horse for 1 second. So I love AEW, I love WWE, I love New Japan, I love all aspects of professional wrestling. And this is why I want there to be more sports entertainment on my television and not less. Just go back to the intro, you can tune in and go, well, this doesn't actually rock my boat, and go and do something else. But if you want AEW to go away, I think you're totally crazy. I had such a good time. I was feeling warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum, and just for, well, half an hour, I could forget about all my problems. That's exactly the point. This ruled. I also think we need to talk about the fact they actually planned this. Like, they went to the back and they put all this together and they pulled it off seamlessly. Not 100% sure how they did that, other than they're very talented people. We also started off with Omega and Okada pretending they were going to lock up. Well, Ken was all down for it, but of course, because Okada is the bad guy, he ran away. That's just what you do. And then we got to our first spot that made me laugh out loud, because Matthew and Nicholas Jackson were whipping Kenny Omega's ass by taking his arm and kind of slamming it over the top rope. Now, Matt was doing the slamming, but he wasn't looking. So when Ricochet got in there, nobody realized they had switched places, meaning Matt Jackson accidentally attacked the arm of Ricochet, even though they're on the same team. And the only way he found out about this is because he touched Ricochet's bald head. Now, yes, this was quite funny, but you know the deal. I cannot accept this. It's not Ricochet's fault he has no hair. It's Mother Nature. And if you're one of these people going, ha ha ha, that's so hilarious, do not forget, you're not dead yet, so Mother Nature may be coming for you too. It then sort of led to everybody getting involved. We had this spot where everybody was also missing elbows, when Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey proved that they watched the Karate Kid because they were doing crane kicks. And even by this point, I was like, man, just having the best time. Ricky and Matt then took over because they were doing a ton of Northern Light suplexes, when yes, Matthew Jackson did take his hair and he draped it over Ricochet's head. Listen, there's nothing wrong with being bald. You don't need to pretend. Anyway, do you know what the fans chanted? You're still bald. And one guy even had a sign, as if he was Bon Jovi, that said Ricochet gives bald a bad name. And he was bald too. So you know what, my bald friend? You've just been kicked out of the club. Don't blame me, you brought it on yourself. Philly and Ricochet were then going to do a bunch of brain busters, but instead the good guys did suplexes. And from this point, it was just you go, I go, we all go. We had dives because 2025. Mark Briscoe got a hot tag and he was running wild. I have to tell you this, sit down and watch it with an open mind. You will be on a roller coaster of joy. Eventually the tag klaxon triggered as well, so everybody was fighting, when Okada decided he was going to flip everybody off when Mike Bailey was back. And do you know how he stopped the swearing? By doing a spinning heel kick. Just going to applaud for the rest of my days. Of course, eventually everybody spilled to the outside after they had been booted in the face, which meant it did leave Kenny Omega and Okada. And can you believe it? For the first time in years, they fought. Kenny Omega got the best of this because he hit a Snapdragon, but when he was going for the V-trigger, Okada hit that wonderfully timed drop kick. So now I'm excited about All In because, of course, that is the tease. It could very well be the match of the year. It looked like Okada was going to hit the Rainmaker too, but Kenny got out the way, and all of a sudden the Young Bucks were back with a super kick party. And the timing of this was insane, as was basically the Tombstone Circle of Doom that they decided to engage in. By this point, I was going through the wrestling move book, and I was like, yep, they've done all of them. Briscoe was able to hit the J Driller too, but Ricochet broke that up at the 1-2, and Kenny went, all right, fine, and he just did the Terminator dive. And all of a sudden, it looked like Mark was back into this because he hit the Rolling Senton. But just as he went for the Froggy Bow, that asshole Ricochet, who I also love, pushed him off the top rope. Okada hit the Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3. Now, I suppose it was always going to be Mark Briscoe who was taking the fall here, but I do hope he gets some wins soon, although he did beat Ricochet recently. But honestly, who the flub cares about wins and losses or trying to find the small things to criticize when you have something as good as this? Once again, I do not know how they put it together. I thought it was totally excellent, and it is getting the biggest up I can possibly give. And if you're not intending to watch it, and again, you're not a totally mad person, go and check it out. They are incredible pro wrestlers. This was totally awesome. I had the best time. I keep saying that, but it's true. It felt like it was my birthday party and everybody was invited up. The Hurt Syndicate then arrived backstage and there was a bunch of people cheering for them. Now at first it kind of felt like they'd been bought when they got totally wrecked. I don't know why the Hurt Syndicate did this, but they beat him all up. They, of course, were talking about MJF as well, and Shelton Benjamin was trying to get in Bobby Lashley's head by saying, man, I think we should trust him now. I mean, we should listen to MVP. He also asked Bobby how he felt about that car that he essentially stole last week, but Lashley made it very clear, I don't need to steal cars, I can buy my own. MVP made it very clear and then said, listen, Bobby Lashley, if you do let him in, and Maxwell does screw up, we'll totally ruin him, so we continue to plant the seeds. When Nick Comoroto was back on TV, that pleased me too, because he has gone through the wars recently with a big injury. But very sadly here, he picked 2 people to take on the Ops, so odds did not look good. That was Mars Hawkins and Rhett Titus too. And yes, Samoa Joe and friends came to the ring. Samoa Joe ran through some people, then Shibata did chop Nick, and Nick tried to chop Shibata back. But that didn't work, so Powerhouse Hobbs tagged in. He ran through people, he hit the spine buster, 1, 2, 3, took about a minute. Taz also mentioned Hook on commentary here and said he shall be back soon. And I do hope he's doing okay. Like, we don't 100% know what the deal is here, as long as he's happy. We also confirmed that it is going to be Samoa Joe versus John Moxley, I believe, in 2 weeks on Dynamite, which is when the Death Riders ran to the ring. And even though Samoa Joe was going to choke some people, Claudio Castagnoli stopped this because he grabbed Shibata and he gave him the neutralizer on the chair. That's what he did to Hook. As soon as Joe got in the ring as well, the Riders of Death ran away. And that's when Samoa Joe grabbed a microphone. And I don't care, man, you can argue this till the cows come home, but I think it is cut and dry. Nobody is cooler than Samoa Joe. Because he went totally crazy saying, oh, John, you say you want to fight and then you run away like a coward. That's because you are a massive bitch, so I tell you what, when we do fight on Dynamite for the World Championship, let's do it in a steel cage. Now actually that does make sense, because if you do want to keep the Death Riders out of the match, you should put it in some steel. And look, I don't think Joe is going to win the world title, but if anybody can make me believe, it's Samoa. So we really can make anything work, and I'm excited about this, and really that is a secret sauce when it comes to wrestling. Also treating these Ops very well, especially because they are the brand new AEW Trios champions. I mean, after this John Moxley thing, we do need a team to challenge them properly, but I'm giving it an up. All of this was just good. Renee Paquette was then sitting down with Mercedes Moné because, of course, she may be taking on Toni Storm at All In. Before that, though, she does have the Owen Hart Cup final against Jamie Hayter, which Renee also inquired about. Mercedes was like, have you seen my last year? I've beaten everybody. I've won all the championships, so sure, she's tough, but nobody better than me. She also makes history every single day, and also, look at Jamie Hayter. It looks like she's dressed out of Scooby-Doo. I was like, I don't think that's much of an insult, man. Everybody wants to look like they're dressed out of Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is awesome. So I actually thought this was really good, because not only did it put over the importance of the Owen Hart Cup final, but it got over Jamie Hayter too. And while I presume Mercedes is going to win, when you do these sit-down interviews, it's just a nice way to tell your audience, oh man, you better give a damn. I also think Mercedes Moné has just found herself at the moment. She has so much momentum. And think about when she does lose, that's going to create an explosion. Let's get it up. Somehow Renee had then teleported because she was talking to the patriarchy, and Nick Wayne, of course, is very happy. He is still the Ring of Honor TV champion. He's also headed to New Japan next week to be in the Best of the Super Juniors, and Christian Cage cut him off here because he is an asshole, although he didn't get to say much because for some reason, in walked Jay Lethal. What? No, he didn't want to talk to Cage because he wanted to address the Ring of Honor TV champion instead, because you are the youngest ROH champion ever, I'm the longest reigning TV champion ever, and I did the maths when it comes to pro wrestling, that means we should fight. Now, Wayne didn't really want to do this because he was not ready, but Christian Cage butted in and said, he'll definitely do it. So once again, you just know these people are going to break up soon. It could be like 2026, we are most definitely taking our time. At the same time, it just works. Christian is great. Now I am going to throw a quick down in here, and it's not actually that important, but I can't unsee it now. Because not only did we have a title eliminator match on Collision, we were having a title eliminator here too. And I just kind of think if we do have the Owen Hart's tournament, which is leading for a shot at the Women's Championship, you shouldn't be doing championship shots throughout all of that, unless there's a reason for it. Because otherwise, if I was in the tournament, I'd be like, Why did I put myself through it? I may as well just said Geese title shot. So listen, tone it down, doesn't matter, don't know why I said it. Otherwise though, it was Toni Storm versus Mayu Yamashita. And yes, this was so damn good. And listen, crazy people out there, you don't have to get too mad. There was a video for Maya before this, and they told you all about her. You know who she is. We also had a video from the film festival where Toni Storm said she wanted a title eliminator match. And there are so many things you can take away from this that will make you happy. One, Toni Storm is so damn over, it's ridiculous. Two, the AEW Women's World Championship at least is starting to feel like it is a big deal, although to be fair, it has done for a little while now. And three, Yamashita came in here, and my gosh, she totally smashed it. I mean, she was just totally wrecking her with kicks to begin with, and even when Toni went for the hip attack, she got out of the way, and Storm got stuck in the ropes. So do you know what Mayu went and did? She quite literally kicked her in the air. And when Luther tried to get involved, do you know what she did? Well, she essentially kicked him in the groinal region. Let's just say it was the tum-tum. Storm finally got the snap German suplex, but once again, when she went for sweet chick music, she totally missed. And this is when Yamashita came back with the skull kick, and also, I think, hit the crush rabbit heat, or something like that. I think that's what the commentator said. I have no idea. Maybe I fell over. She also stopped a Stormbreaker and looked like she was going to win the damn thing when eventually she did get German suplexed again. When finally, Toni Storm was able to hit the sweet chip music. She got the Storm Zero and she got the 1, 2, 3. But honestly, this was just a really solid, hard-hitting match on a Dynamite that I'm not going to lie to, my friends, was super duper easy to watch. Mercedes Moné came out right after this, so we are now really teasing Toni versus Mercedes at All In, which makes sense because it's essentially AEW's WrestleMania. But fair enough, Jamie Hayter walked out and she punched Mercedes right in the face, because listen to me, pal, you gotta go through me first. She was gonna give the Haterade to Monet as well, who of course ran off in the most comical way possible. And when Jamie Hayter's music started to play, Toni Storm began to dance in the ring. This is something else you need to check out. It made me laugh. So all of this is really good though, because we are teasing multiple directions, so it just worked, man. Sometimes the simple stuff is the best, and you just know Mercedes versus Jamie's gonna be awesome. Mercedes versus Toni is gonna be awesome, but even if it was Hayter, that would rock too. The women's division is cooking up. Don Callis and his family were then backstage, and Don told us that Takeshita and Josh Alexander had made history last week. Be that guy, I do not think they're going to be teaching this in schools. It was just part of a big rant though, because more history is going to be made later, because Kyle Fletcher will defeat Hangman Adam Page. He will go on to the finals of the Owen, where he'll beat he will beat Will Ospreay, and then he will go on to become the AEW World Champion. Kyle totally agrees with this too, and then they shouted his name for a bit. Oh, the proto-star Kyle Fletcher. They just like doing that for some reason, but you do have to give all the props in the world to Fletcher. My gosh, what a year he's had. When the Hurt Syndicate came to the ring to do another vote. Now listen, this story is brilliant and one of AEW's best, but this bit is quite funny. Like, what is the point of a vote? You can't have a vote, and when the vote doesn't go your way, you just go, shall we do another vote? Otherwise the vote is never going to end. It's going to last to the end of time. As ever though, MVP said how great MJF was as Maxwell came to the ring, and this time we got MJF giving a thumb, Shelton Benjamin gave a thumb, and Bobby Lashley waited for 47 hours, and then clearly his brain told him, nope, we're not doing it, and he pushed the thumb to the floor. Now Friedman was more annoyed than usual, and he got right in Bobby Lashley's face. He's like, man, I've given you women, I've given you cars, I've helped you win matches. What exactly do you want? Maybe it's some road gain, because you're a big bald bitch. So I swear, honestly, one day, here's how I'm going to turn up in AEW. I am going to be the representative for all the bald wrestlers, and I'm going to put them in a big huddle, and I am going to create the stable of the Bald Brotherhood. We're not going to be mean, and we're not going to be angry. We're just going to ask for respect. It was quite funny because Bobby then grabbed him by the face and ran him right into the turnbuckle. And of course, because MJF is MJF, he screamed, oh, MVP save me. To be fair, it worked though, because Bobby Lashley finally told him what he did need to do. If you want to be in the Hurt Syndicate, you better go out there and hurt people. The thing is though, if we're talking about hurting people's feelings, well, MJF already did that. Stop calling people bald. Now, MJF really did look worried here, and MVP had to hold Bobby Lashley back. But now it begs the question, who on earth is Maxwell Jacob Friedman going to bludgeon to get in the Hurt Syndicate? Because I do believe that's the direction we're headed. It also means to get in there, you have to murder somebody, which means the Hurt Syndicate is most definitely a cult. It is really great though, because of course you know that Max is going to sneak in there eventually. And then what does he do? Is it going to be a short-lived thing? Is it going to be a long-term thing? Does it make MJF the world champion again? There are so many questions and all the answers are pretty damn good. This is great pro wrestling storytelling. It's getting it up. We then have footage of Stokely Hathaway and his new pairing with FTR, as Stoke was like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for a brand new tag team since 2024. And that's true. there was that clip from months ago, he was indeed scouting. Basically though, he's going to help FTR retain those AEW tag team titles and restore their legacy. A lot of people on this episode of AEW Dynamite was talking about their legacy, but man, these three just work. I can't even explain it, but I feel it in my bones. When we did indeed get Jay Lethal versus Nick Wayne for the ROH TV title, I mean, even though it made no sense, I thought maybe this would happen on Collision. Nope, we were just doing it. It also looked like Nick was going to be by himself before Christian Cage and friends just barged into the picture. And look, Lethal got the better of this at first when Nick Wayne spilled to the outside. Nick tried to get advice from Christian, or at least he whispered something in his ear. But this must have been terrible, because Jay continued to whip his ass. He also did a die because 2025, and actually I think the words did ring true, because Nick threw him into Simba the Steel Steps. And if anybody was going to suggest that, it would be Christian Cage. Jay then hit the lethal combination for a 1-2-ooh, and I started laughing. I know this move has been around for ages, but the name just hit me in the brain. Can you imagine if that's how a lock worked? You're like, oh my gosh, this could kill me. I mean, you just wouldn't bother. Jay was then able to get the elbow drop, but Nick Wayne somehow turned that into the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, but it only got a 1-2-ooh. And when Jay went for the lethal injection, Nick Wayne cut him off. He did this by raking the eyes because he is an asshole as he booted him right in the face when he essentially hit a fisherman's suplex driver thingamajig, and he got the 1-2-3. We got more teasing as well because it looked like Christian Cage was going to steal the belt before he put it around the waist of Nick Wayne. Now, of course, Nick is going away for a while, so this story must continue. But this is what Christian did with Luchasaurus when he was the TNT champion, so maybe that's how our dinosaur friend does return. I got no problem with that. It does sound like he's good to go as well, which is the best news, but this is getting an up. Again, it's a bit too much of a slow burn, but anything Christian Cage does, well, it turns to gold. When we did indeed get our main event, which is indeed the semi-finals of the Men's Owen Hart Cup, Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page, and this is the best way we could describe it. These two are some of the best wrestlers in the world. It was also sold like a pick'em because either of them could win, when Hangman chopped Kyle so hard, he ran away for a while. Now, Fletcher's plan was kind of unhinged, because he pulled the hair of Hangman Adam Page and he rode him like a horse. This is when Adam retaliated by spanking Kyle. These are real things that happened. Don't ask me, I'm just the messenger. I did sort of think that maybe I accidentally changed the channel when I realized no, I am still watching wrestling. When we had this best camera angle, because from nowhere Hangman Adam Page clotheslined Kyle Fletcher over Barry Barricade and he whipped him into the LED board so hard, I think Kyle's back was bleeding. Hangman then continued to absolutely wreck Kyle with these horrible looking clotheslines, but his biggest mistake is when he went for the moonsault. Because Fletcher must have seen the first old match, he swept the leg like the Karate Kid, when of course he hit the cowboy with a brainbuster onto the ring apron, and I checked, it's the hardest part of the ring. They then decided to fight on Barry Barricade, when I kid you not. Hangman knocked off Kyle, he stood behind him or looking away from him, he did a moonsault, caught him in a tombstone, and dropped him on the floor. I mean, what the flub is happening? They then just threw strikes for a while when Hangman went for the Deadeye, but Kyle got out of that, but still got hit with the Deadeye for a 1-2-ooh. When he screwed the moonsault again, so Kyle Fletcher hit this ridiculous bomb of power. I tell you, I could have watched them fight forever, or for the allocated time they were given on this television show. That kind of worked up Adam Page as he just kept going for the buckshot lariat, but he wasn't able to get it. And of course, Kyle didn't want to be hit with this either, so what did he do? He used the referee as a shield. I was like, what a piece of trash. He also used that distraction to slam Page in the penis for a 1-2-ooh, and no, that is not the name of my new book, when he was like, you know what, maybe I'll just totally kill him with brainbusters. Now, one of these had the craziest near fall ever, and Don Kaz on commentary lost it, as did the fans. When Carl was like, well, that's fine, now I'll climb up to the turnbuckle, and I'll give him a brainbuster from there. But Hangman Adam Page wiggled and jiggled. He knocked Kyle Fletcher to the floor. He hit a buckshot lariat from there when he realized I should do a normal one. He got that. He pinned him for the 1-2-3. I didn't see that coming, and it does mean now, at Double or Nothing, it's Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page. I tell you, either of them could win it. So talk about another match that you just can't call, and both the women's and the men's Owens tournaments this year have been so damn good. This was a killer main event that had a lot to live up to. Given that first match, I am going to give it an up. What a great episode of AEW Dynamite. So of course the overall show is going to get an up as well, and people keep going, oh man, the feeling is back. Maybe it is, and maybe it isn't. It's just a nice catchphrase at the end of the day. But am I enjoying All Elite Wrestling at the moment? I absolutely am. Now, of course, please do leave me a comment and let me know what you thought about AEW last night. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is ups and downs for Monday Night Raw. But otherwise, my friends, just have a terrific day. Know that I love you. Feel warm and fuzzy in your tum-tums. I'll see you soon.